What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 2 a.m. in Sweden, aka We Got Next. I'm one of your hosts of the show, Hayes, at AO Shifty. There's a ton to talk about tonight. We're going to get into, as you can see, the homies left me in charge of the show, so you know we about to go wild for today. Um, it's a lot of different things we want to talk about, bring up, have to discuss, because it was just a weekend and so many things have gone on, whether it was the NBA draft that just happened. Of course, the NBA schedule has come out for the NBA draft and everything that's going to happen with that. The NFL schedules come out, the NBA playoffs. There's a bunch of teams that are 3-1. So that's mainly what we're going to focus on. I probably will talk about ESPN streaming service too. If I can find the tweet, I'll bring it up. But there was a tweet basically how much it's going to cost to watch every single NFL game. There is coming up this year. So that's kind of another topic we'll end up talking about. But of course, first off, it's just me today. Steven told you guys last week he's on a cruise. So next week we will end up having everything that went on with that. You know, there'll be stories. We always have different travel stories. So first things first, of course, we have to dive into the draft. A couple of key dates. Then we will talk about the other things that kind of are important in terms of the show. Number one, May 11th through May 18th is everything in terms of the NBA draft combine. It's not the same as the combine that most people would end up expecting if you end up watching anything in the NFL. It's similar to that, but it's not as highlighted and profiled. That's probably the best way to kind of put it. The next thing you guys should just understand, of course, they do like 5-on-5. They'll have you run through different plays. They'll, of course, have you shooting at different spots. They'll have like the standing vert. They have like the moving vert, which are all things you can kind of end up seeing. I personally don't think it's similar to the NFL. Again, a lot of this, scouts aren't, if you're a top premier scout, you're not just looking at what you see at the combine. Like if you run a 4.3, you're not about to be the number one pick in the draft. They're going to look at so many other things. Just like this, you can have the highest vert, but it won't necessarily get you the farthest. But potentially, if you were to just like kill it in any of the shooting spots and stuff like that in those drills, it could push you up. They're still going to want to see if you have a man on you, how are you going to do? But May 12th is the NBA draft lottery. That happened today as of recording. It is May 13th. June 15th is the NBA early entry withdrawal deadline. So any of the players that maybe were, I don't know, freshman, sophomore, junior, have another year of eligibility, wanted to put their name out there, kind of test the waters, you are able to end up withdrawing at that point. So that's kind of the next big thing that people will end up talking about, getting into, kind of figuring out what's going on. At June 15th, most of your big-time players are not about to withdraw. The next one we have is June 25th. That's the NBA draft. So we have a little over a month for that. And that's at 8 p.m. And then we have June 26th for the second round of the draft. June 25th is a Wednesday. And then June 26th is a Thursday. So that's when the NBA draft will be. Glad we got that out the way so we're all on the same page. Now we can get into the real shit that's the topic of conversation. The first thing is the number one pick in the draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks. Do you guys want me to say more than that? Okay, because I didn't think anybody needed to hear more than that. Because the Mavericks were just in the play-in game, but yet they got the number one pick in the draft. We'll just hold on tight. We'll end up getting into everything that kind of matters with that. Number two is the San Antonio Spurs. They got De'Aaron Fox. They have Victor Wembanyama. They have Stephon Castle. They have solid players already on that team, and then you're going to load them up even more. So just for anyone that does not know who is on the series 2-2, for anyone that doesn't know who is on the San Antonio Spurs, we have Victor Wembanyama. Last year, we had Victor Wembanyama. We had Stephon Castle. We had De'Aaron Fox. CP3 did also help with that team too, so that kind of did help them. They were 34-48. They also had, I forget who the center. Oh, Jeremy Sochan. Uh, that was there. Harrison Barnes, Devin Vassell. They also had Keldon Johnson. Uh, Bismack Biombo was there as well. Again, they're filling out this roster, so it's not everyone that's still going to be there. Um, I don't even. They absolutely had De'Aaron Fox. Oh, this might have been there later in the season, but De'Aaron Fox was absolutely on the team. Um, so yeah, you have. I think I'm 90% sure that they traded Snipe over there. Yeah, okay, he was just injured. I don't know why they're saying. Oh, I guess they're saying if there's a trade. Like, would you end up doing that at the 20 Spurs jump, whatever, Spurs front office, whatever? I guess they're saying depending on. Yeah. Okay. So they're saying De'Aaron Fox might be on the trading block depending on what they can end up getting. Because if you have the second pick in the draft and then you have De'Aaron Fox, you can do some things with that. Number 3 in the draft, the Philadelphia 76ers. They have Paul George, they have Tyrese Maxey, they have Joel Embiid. People are guessing they might end up going Ace Bailey. The top 3 they're hoping can end up picking those 3 players. Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, and then Ace Bailey. Those are the main ones. I don't know. Yeah, probably won't go with that. That's crazy. They even have one height without shoes as one of the things. Oh, that's for all participants. Standing reach, standing vertical, lane agility, 3/4 sprint, shuttle run. And then they have it like broken down. Yeah, that's too much. I don't care about all of that. Number 4, we have the Hornets. 5 is the Jazz. 6 is the Wizards. 7 is Pelicans. 8 is the Nets. 9 is the Toronto Raptors. 10 via the Phoenix Suns. Through Brooklyn are the Houston Rockets. So yeah, I guess let's kind of get into it. Question mark, but Cooper Flag's going to Dallas. San Antonio, they're trying to figure out what they do with that pick. Philly as well. I don't know if I could see 2 or 3 getting traded. I don't. Number 2, Spurs don't need any more young players. They just need a veteran or a solid. You can get a lot from it. Yeah, the number 2 pick in the draft. If you think that that's someone that you can build your future around, good. The Spurs have the number 2 pick and the number 14 pick, which is really important to kind of see. I don't even see the Hawks. They have the number 13. The Hawks do. But yeah, so that's kind of how that one shakes out. Couple of things for people that don't know or did not understand how everything went. Let's take it back some years and then we'll bring it forward. So these are different major trades that have happened in the NBA. And then that next season, well, that off season, there was like a major trade that happened, clearly trade. And then there was a draft pick. So LeBron signs with the Heat. He left Cleveland, signed with the Heat. So the Cavs had to take on this big L. 2011, the Cavs ended up getting Kyrie Irving. They had a 2.8% chance of getting the number 1 pick, and they got Kyrie Irving. 2011, so the year right after that, Chris Paul traded to the Clippers from the Hornets or the Pelicans. The Pelicans win the lottery. 2012, they had a 13.7% chance of winning the lottery, and then they got Anthony Davis. The odds are a little bit higher. So that one, all right, if you want to try and hide it, cool. Again, Anthony Davis was in another one. Anthony Davis traded to the Lakers. That was a big one. Remember that broke up like all the pieces that they thought might have done something that didn't really happen. Pelicans won the lottery 2019. There was a 6% chance for the Pelicans to get the number 1 pick, and they end up winning the lottery and getting Zion Williamson. And then we have 2025. Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers. The Mavericks win the lottery. 1.8% chance of winning the lottery. And they're going to probably grab Cooper Flag. some shit happened behind the scenes. Somebody was like, listen, y'all do this, you'll get the number one pick. I can't promise you the number one pick, but you have a 99.9999999% chance of getting the number one pick. They were questioning Nico. They were saying all this shit in the world about Nico. I don't know why Nico did this. How is this going to happen? They're like, we got this. We got this. Don't even worry. Don't even stress. Don't fret. No, nothing. We going to be all right. And sure enough, they going to be all right. Number one pick. So you can end up doing that. Someone said, sacrifice your star to one of bigger markets and we'll give you the first pick. That's really how it happened. And then another person was saying, the thing is that now they don't even try to hide that it's fake. They don't. I mean, it's obvious. If you do that, you'll get it. You just really have to end up putting that time in and think, all right, are we really going to do this? Oh, yeah, we're about to do it. And, we're going to get the number one pick. So that's kind of the main topic in terms of the NBA draft. Nothing really happened more on that side. So next part that I do want to dive into is the NBA playoffs. So a couple of things happened there. Of course, we went through the first round. Second round was almost over. All 3 out of the 4 team playoff games are 3-1 or clearly got closed out. So the Pacers and the Cavs were 3-1. Pacers won tonight, 114-105, and the Cavs were winning. That's the crazy part. They were winning by like 17. Pacers ended up coming back and winning that one. So that series is over. Pacers are the number 4 seed. And then you have the Knicks and the Celtics. The Celtics are 3-1, and Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles. Celtics are not winning that one. Knicks are absolutely. It doesn't matter if it was in Kentucky. It could even be in Cuba. And I promise you the Celtics are still about to lose this one. Do they have decent pieces? Yes, but your 1A is gone. Yeah, I know Jaylen Brown won the finals MVP for you, but it's Jason Tatum. You're not beating the Knicks. So it looks like it'll be the Knicks and the Pacers. For old heads, they appreciate that matchup. When it was Charles Oakley, John Starks, Patrick Ewing, those guys against the Pacers on the Reggie Miller Pacers, they'll appreciate that. So it'll probably be 3-4 matchup. The 3 seed will end up getting it. On the other side, again, injury riddled. We'll start with the 6-7 matchup. Timberwolves and the Warriors. Timberwolves are the home team. They're away. Playing against the Warriors for this is the 5th game. They are playing in Minnesota. So that game, it's for the 5th game. It's going to be Minnesota. Yeah. So that'll be in Minnesota. Minnesota is 11.5 point favorites in that one. 3-1. They can close it out. They can move on to the next round, which will be interesting. And who was that in the finals? Whatever, it doesn't matter. So then you also have the Thunder against the Nuggets. Nuggets are currently winning. That series is 2-2. If this stays the way it does, the Nuggets, where are they playing? That's always important. They're playing in OKC. So if the Nuggets can win that one, take it back home, they can close that one out. That would then be the 4 versus 6 matchup. Nuggets can get back. I really think the Nuggets can still win the chip. They're one of the teams that don't necessarily need a coach, but I could see the Nuggets winning. Timberwolves and Nuggets would be a solid matchup to end up seeing. You'd love to see Anthony Edwards do it, but I don't know if they have the pieces to get by Denver. Denver looks like a strong team in this one. But so you have the 1-4, 6-7 still going on. Neither way, it's not going to finish out today. Tomorrow, games to be finished. That's May 14th. You do have the Celtics-Knicks game, and then you have the Timberwolves and the Warriors game. If you guys have any thoughts on it, just let us know and kind of tell us. I'm curious as to what everyone's thinking and your takes on it. But that's the main part over there that we have. They also haven't announced the MVP, which probably will be for a minute that they announce it. I do want to segue into the NFL. So it's not official yet, but in terms of the NFL schedule, we have started to get leaks and releases. I'll try to say as many as I can find. Apparently, they're claiming week 1 has been leaked to the public. Is he a trusted person? Kind of. We'll go with it for now. If it changes, I'll let you guys know. Nah, this looks like the real one. Who is this? Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So first week of the season, you have the Eagles, and then the 2025 World Champion Philadelphia Eagles. We'll be playing against the Dallas Cowboys Friday, September 4th. September 5th, you have the Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's an international game, I believe. I don't know where it is. I just know it's, I don't think. 99% sure that's an international game. If I can find out where it is, I'll let you guys know. I'm not really seeing where it is actually yet. But so anyways, when I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. But that game is an international game, like 90% sure. I don't think it's in Brazil again, but Chiefs Chargers week 1. Let's see where this game is at. Yeah, it's in Brazil. Okay, I guess that's going to be the new thing. But yeah, Chiefs Chargers September 5th. September 7th, you have the Browns and the Jets, Saints and the Titans. That's basically going to be 2 rookies, unless somebody or a second-year player for the Saints. Yeah, the Texans Broncos, decent game. Panthers Bucks, I don't really know. Steelers Dolphins, solid game. Colts 49ers, who knows what kind of Colts team you're going to get. Lions Vikings, good game. Both playoff teams. Patriots Falcons, 2 up-and-coming teams with 2 solid second-year quarterbacks that are there. Raiders, Giants. Depends on what you're looking for. We don't even know who the quarterback of the Giants are because they have 4 quarterbacks right now. You have Tommy DeVito, you have Russell Wilson, you have Jameson Winston, you have Jackson Dart. I don't know who's even starting for you guys. You have the Raiders. Solid team. You want to see what Ashton Jeanty can do against that team. You have the Jaguars against the Cardinals. I'm not too excited about that one. Commanders, Bears, solid. Yeah, they had to put that on week 1. That's absolutely on TV too. Caleb Williams against Jaden Daniels. First and second overall picks. Rams, Vikings starting off the divisional games as well. Again, this one, this cannot be the whole schedule because I have not seen the homies yet. Oh, okay, there's the game. And then you have the Bengals Bills will be the night game, Sunday night game, 8:20 on NBC. And then you'll end up capping off the whole week with the Ravens and the Packers. So it'd be not too bad. Some games are good. I can see it coming out that way. Then looking at the international games that we have so far. So you have, clearly it's announced now, but you have the Chargers and then the Chiefs, like they said. You have the Vikings Steelers playing in Dublin. You have the Vikings Browns playing in Tottenham. Also, they're on the road 2 weeks in a row. I know some people have noticed that, but they're playing. You're just going to stay there at that point. You have the Broncos and the Jets. That's another NFL Network game. That's in London. You have the Jaguars. You have the Rams. London game. That's at Wembley. You have. Oh, shit. That's kind of dope. And I know it's going to be expensive. Those tickets are going to be really expensive. I would think about doing something like that, but that's expensive. You have the Colts versus the Falcons. That's at Olympic Stadium in Berlin. And then you have the Dolphins and the Commanders playing in Spain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games from this schedule, which is congrats. They keep growing over the years. So that's a promise to kind of see. Then they have the top 10 games of the 2025 season. At this point, you just put on the schedule every single year. The Chiefs are going to play the Bills. Like, that's just really how it's going to be. The number 2 game you have is the Lions. Apparently, what people are saying. You have the Lions, Eagles. Number 3 is the Rams and the Ravens. I don't know why. Number 4, you have the Chiefs, KC rematch. Number 5, you have the Bengals, Bills. 6, you have the Bears, Commanders. 7, you have, first off, the Chiefs are in 3 of the games of this year people are excited for. 7, you have the Ravens, Chiefs. 8, you have the Broncos, Texans. I don't know why. There's no way these are the top games. Number 9, you have the Vikings, Seahawks. So you have the, all right, cool. That's fine. Whatever. Number 10, you have the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't agree with this list at all. I'll have to look at the whole schedule, but the only reason why you're having the number 10 game up there for the Packers Steelers is if Aaron Rodgers is playing on the Steelers. Other than that, I don't know. They're also saying this, I guess, is a little better. Top 10 biggest games of the year on Fox's perspective. Chiefs, Eagles, number 1. Thank you. Lions, Eagles, number 2. Solid. KC, Bills, understandable. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. So Ravens, Bills, number 4. Eagles, Commanders, solid. Both playoff teams running it back. Number 6, Lions, Bears. Bears are up and coming. I could see that. Number 7, Ravens, Chiefs, because Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Number 8, rematch of the playoffs when they did some shit to them. Commanders, Lions. Okay. Number 9, Chargers, Texans. I don't know. Number 10 is Steelers, Packers. You have to think something's happening with the Steelers. You're not just doing that for no reason. That might be it. I think that's going to be it for the NFL schedule. We'll know more tomorrow. So I'll make sure to let everyone know then as to how that's going. Another thing I kind of just wanted to bring up. So a lot of my schedule has finally come out. I've gotten a lot of my tickets, so we will have a lot of content out there. But so far, the lineup in terms of college football season tickets, and I'm using this because I got to segue into something too. So we already got the University of Texas at Austin tickets. Today, I just got my South Carolina Gamecock tickets. We have Oklahoma Sooners. I took care of that one. Auburn, I got those. And then I also have LSU. So I have 5 different college football teams. We're going to see how this goes. Maybe I'll expand as the years go on. But that's the lineup in terms of college football. In terms of the NFL, for anyone wondering, I have the Chargers, I have the Texans, I have the Ravens, I have the Saints, Commanders, Dolphins, and then Steelers. So there's 12 different teams. I split it between college and the NFL. I want to really see how it's going to go. And I'll kind of let you guys know. My goal is to start inviting like some of the homies to like the different games that I end up going to, have them like get the experience too. We can end up telling you guys how the tailgates are at these places. We tell you how the atmosphere is. That's kind of just our focus and goal, to just kind of go through everything, see how the areas are. Who really knows what it's going to be? Is it going to be someone from the college football side of things? Is it going to be over there in Baton Rouge? Is it going to be down there in Auburn? Are we going to be doing things over there in Oklahoma? I don't really know. Could even be down there with the Gamecocks, or it could be over there in Austin. You don't know. On the other side, it could be a Chargers, Texans, Ravens, Saints. I went to New Orleans last year. I'm going back again. That might be the one I always go to every year. Commanders, we'll probably just make a pit stop over there just for the one time. And then Dolphins and then Steelers. So any of those, I'm looking forward to kind of just seeing how it goes. I'll let you guys know from that perspective. The other thing I did just want to get into, and it was brought to my attention last time on the show, didn't get to comment or message back, but again, we appreciate all the commentary that happens on the show. And someone made a comment about me not necessarily watching college football as much because I said that the Clemson Tigers were kind of a disappointment or they didn't live up to all the expectations. I get what they're returning. Number one, I have family in Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina, so I absolutely hear about Clemson a lot. I know what Clemson is. I know the type of team that they have. Fully get that, not taking anything away from them. And start, I know that they have a lot of people that are returning too. My only reason for saying any of this was if you kind of look at the record that they had. So before I go into that, because I know that they have their quarterback that's returning, Cade Klubnik. I know that. If I pronounce his name wrong, my apologies. I know what they had from the receiving core was solid. I know it's tough to be a 1,000-yard receiver. They came close to that. I know their defense is studs. They had a couple people with 5+ sacks, 3 to 5+ sacks. I see that. Total tackles. I see. I'm seeing everything. The reason why I said this is and I know Clemson made the playoffs. SMU was the number one team. If we're looking at by standings, start with that. In the conference, they went 8-0. Overall, they were 11-3. Clemson was 7-1 in the conference and 10-4 overall. Just keeping it how it is. Miami was 6-2 in the conference, 10-3 overall. And then even also, if you look at Syracuse was 10-3, 5-3 in the conference. And then if you want to go one more, Louisville was 5-3, 9-4 overall. That's the main reason why I was saying that in terms of standings. I remember the Clemson teams that would do it year after year after year. You are going to have SMU that's still up there. Hurricanes are probably still going to be up there. Syracuse might be up there a little bit too. I just want to see Clemson take that next step and be far and above where they should end up being. If you look at it compared to like the SEC and stuff of that nature, you did have some stronger teams. You can't really compare Clemson to other ACC teams. That's really where a lot of this came down from. Their conference is not as strong as some of these other conferences, and that's why I'm saying they didn't necessarily live up to it. Because if you look at the SEC, you had Texas, you had Georgia, 13-3, 11-3. They have a strong conference overall. That's kind of one of them. The other one is if you kind of even look at the Big Ten, Oregon was solid, Indiana was solid, Penn State was solid, Ohio State was solid. A couple of those teams made the college football playoffs. That's another thing. So you can compare it. Their records are a little different when they're fighting each other every single week. And then if you even want to go to the Big 12 a little bit, you did have some teams that were strong. Big 12 is not good. That's not what I'm saying. But you could see how some of that competition was. But then when we just look at the ACC, it's a little bit different. Last time I checked, and I could be completely wrong on this. You all can correct me if I'm wrong. And I'll try and find this out for you guys. But it looked like it was maybe one. They had two. And both the teams lost by over 10 points. You had SMU play Penn State. They got mollywopped. And then you had Texas play Clemson. And then they lost by 14. Those are the two ACC teams. Not taking anything against. I see some of the SEC teams. I know that's going to be the big thing too. Which was 27-17. Notre Dame also went to the championship game. If you also look at Ohio State against Tennessee whipped them. Ohio State ended up moving on to win the championship. So if we're looking in the first round and just how that ended up going, that's saying a lot there. Other part is if you had the bye, it's not really saying that much because Arizona State lost, Oregon lost, Boise State lost, Georgia lost. Everyone that had the first round bye lost. Clearly shows you that doesn't matter either. But again, going back to the point at hand, and it was the ACC. I know the ACC can be stronger. They just need to get a lot more talent in there so it can be a little bit stronger. They had two teams come out into the college football playoffs. Both of them did not do well. So I just want to see them kind of pick it up this year. We can go stats for stats. We can end up looking at who's returning. Again, I want to see Clemson be what it used to be. And that's really where this comes down to. I've seen the talent that they've had come through. I've seen the quarterback, seen the running back, seen the wide receivers, seen the backside on defense, seen the trenches. I get it all. I just want to see them do better than the number 12 seed. And that's really why I brought any of this up. But so that's the main thing over there. The last thing I want to go into, and I saw that people at Club 520 bring this up. They were talking about what are the Jordans that you don't like the most. One for me is the threes. I know they have different ones. I don't really like the threes. And I'm only going to do this. We can even just go to 15. So I'll give you okay or no go in terms of the Jordans over here. Jordan 1s, sure, they're the retro. Like, they're the OG. They're always going to be there. Cool. Jordan 2s, they're okay. I personally am not going to be wearing them. But if you want to wear them short, Jordan 3s, we don't even need to talk about. The 4s, I picked up a couple of different 4s before. I like the 4s. I think those are good. The 5s are fine. Solid in my book. The 6s, cool. 7, especially Olympics, I can get down with depending on where it is. I've had a decent amount of the 8s. 8s are fine for me. 9s are cool. I get how some people might hate them. All right, fine. The 10s, I really like personally. Those are dope. The 11s, I like those as well. I've had a decent amount. I see the 12s have a hit and miss rate. I have 2 pairs of 12s right now, and I could see someone liking them or I could see someone not liking them. 13s, I don't care for. I have 2 pair of 13s, but I'm not just wearing them any day of the week. They're there. They're not terrible. They're just not my everyday type of shoe to have. They're fine. The 14s, I don't really care for. 15s, I don't know what we're talking about. 16s, okay, whatever. 17s, and yeah, whatever. The 18s were my shit. If I can get the 18s again, I would just keep them. I'm not even going to touch them anymore. Keep them, retire them, don't do anything. When he was on the Wizards, like that color wave, those are my shits. If I get the 18s, those are nice. 19s, all right, whatever. 20s, all right, I don't really care. We don't need to go on. The 18s probably are up there as one of my favorite shoes ever. It was just a clean, beautiful shoe. Like, if I could get them again, the 18s were nice. It's just tough to find like a nice, clean pair of them. So that's kind of the last thing over there. Next week, Steven and I will recap the NBA draft, kind of the thoughts of what happened this week since he's not here. We will talk about the NFL schedule because that would have been out as well. And then we will kind of dive into the NBA playoffs. By that point, we should be towards the Eastern and Western Conference Finals games and kind of seeing what the shakeout is going to be in terms of the finals. So we'll kind of give our thoughts. We'll look back on it, see the teams that we predicted to end up going to the championship, see how that ended up happening, or if it did or did not happen. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for just supporting us. We've seen the engagement happen. We've seen people just talk to us either on Twitter, different places. I know some of the other things I'm on, like Whatnot. People start to end up bringing up like, yo, Hayes, I saw the show. Thank you for all that. If you have any type of topics you want us to bring up, just let us know. But until next time, we out.